Welcome to a random game unshrinking. Now, there's a lot of unboxings you'll find on YouTube, but an unshrinking is slightly different. The idea is to take a game that's still sealed in its original shrink wrap, ideally an older game, and to open it up, take off that shrink, and see what's underneath, and be able to look at the contents and play and enjoy the game. Now, I know that a lot of collectors don't like the idea of opening shrink wrap, especially originally sealed shrink wrap of older games, because they just feel like a game that's shrink wrapped should be preserved as it is in a pristine condition. The issue that I have with that is that games are there to play, not to look at the outside cover of the packaging. I mean, that's fine to do that, but if you're just looking at the packaging, you're not really appreciating the game. And even if you can get the game online in some, pirated format or something, you're still missing out on all the contents of the package in most cases. So I definitely would encourage folks, if you have games that are shrink wrapped and you want to play them, don't feel bad. Open that shrink wrap up and play the game. Of course, if you can get somebody to trade you your shrink wrapped copy for a non-shrink wrapped copy plus a lot of cash, you might want to do that. But if not, just open it up. So what we have here is Golden Oldies, Computer Software Classics Volume 1. And this is a game, or this is a collection actually, that was published in 1985 by, it says here, the Software Country. And by looking at it, you can see that there were 4 games included: Adventure, Eliza, Life, and Pong. And I'm not going to talk too much about those games, but they're all classic games, even back in 1985. Now, first of all, you can tell this is original shrink wrap primarily because of these little holes that appear in the shrink wrap. Those are generally distinctive signs of original shrink wrap, so you should be aware of that. The second thing I want to point out is that this this package was released at least twice. This is the initial release where the platform sticker is over here in the left corner and wrapping around to the back. And also it says that the package was released by Software Country. There's also a second version of the game that was re-released in 1987 where the platform sticker is on the upper right over here. And instead of Software Country, it says it was released by the Software Toolworks. And if you look at that logo, you might recognize it as the Software Toolworks logo. Over here I have a copy of Loom CD-ROM edition, and you can see the same Software Toolworks logo on that. Which is very similar, obviously. So it seems what happens here is, and maybe somebody else, has information on this, but it seems that the Software Toolworks, actually, that company started up around 1981, and it merged around 1985 with a company called Software Country, and presumably this was the Software Country's logo, because I haven't seen any examples of Software Toolworks using this logo before this packaging, before 1985. And it looks like for this particular release, they used the Software Country logo for whatever reason. And then in the future, when they merged completely, they changed the name to the Software Toolworks for both companies. They adopted this logo going forward for the Software Toolworks, and that's the famous logo that many people have probably seen in the past. Okay, so let's actually open this thing up. If I can figure out how. Probably a knife would be a good way, but I'm just going to try to use my fingers to peel the shrink wrap open. Some people are probably screaming right now, but it had to be done, everybody. This thing had to be opened. Okay, now that that's done, what do we have here? And I have never seen this before, so this will be interesting for me too. So what they did here is they actually put the manual attached to the packaging. So this whole thing is not only a manual, but also excerpts from books and interesting information about the games that I'm definitely going to read after this video is over. And then the actual disc is here at the end. Actually, this is really interesting because this disc apparently is a re-release disc. It says actually the software Toolworks on it, and copyright 1985 and 1987. So that's pretty interesting. It seems like even though this is, and here this is Software Country, even though this is original packaging, maybe this one was produced or packaged up later and they reused an old package for this, but they had a newer disc. So that's actually pretty interesting. Here's one of the surprises that you get when you open things up. I might actually try to get one of the older discs to put it in here instead. That's pretty interesting. But you see the disc here is sort of, it's attached, the whole holder is attached to the whole packaging, and it's sort of embedded here. The actual later release is, as far as I can tell, I don't own a copy, but it's very different. The instead of the whole book being here, basically it's just a folder. There's no huge book attached to the whole packaging. There's just a folder where there's a slot, a regular slot for the disc to go in, and on the other side there's another slot for the manual to go in. I may have to pick up a copy so I can demonstrate that, or you can probably look on the internet and find it out. But in any case, this is it. It's a disc, and it's the registration card, and it's the manual that's integrated with the packaging. So I look forward to reading this. And as I said, I might end up going and try to acquire another copy of the disc, but I guess they just mixed and match at some point. But that's it. All right, well, everybody, I hope that was interesting, and have a good day.